welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and I am your Wednesday host, and today we're going to be talking about Book of Shadows. Okay, this week's question came from Flare Mage. My name is Alyssa. I've been researching different pagan branches of paganism for the last 8 years off and on, and I finally feel like I'm in a place mentally and physically where I can dedicate myself to a path that calls to me. I was wondering if you had any videos on how to start a Book of Shadows. I have a lot of free floating notes and I was hoping to get any of your advice on putting them together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give a little piece of advice on Book of Shadows. I'm going to go over the types of Book of Shadows, the way you can construct them, and then I'm going to go over how my Book of Shadows is constructed. The first thing is the advice. Now, I'm not really sure where I heard this or where I read it, but if you are, my suggestion is take a piece of paper, whether you're going to put your Book of Shadows in a book that's already binded or not. Just take a piece of paper and write down everything you believe about your spirituality right now. Just don't overthink it. Just everything you believe in. I believe in fairies. I believe in herbal work or whatever. Whatever it is. Just write everything down that you believe in. Put the date up at the top. Fold it in half. If you have a binder book, put that in the back, or slip it in a plastic sleeve like I have in the very back of your Book of Shadows. And just kind of forget about it. And years down the line, you're going to look at that piece of paper and it's going to be this cool time capsule of what you believed, and you'll be able to find the vine that got you to where you are at the moment that you're reading it. So it's really cool. I like to reflect on mine from time to time, and it just makes me feel like when I read it, wow, I really have learned a lot, because when we are learning in this path, sometimes we forget just how much we have learned, and so it's a cool thing to do. Before I go over what is in my Book of Shadows, and I'm not going to show you specifically, just going to kind of go over things. There are lots of different ways you can construct a Book of Shadows. There are 3 that came to mind right off the bat. The first is by Sabbats and Sabbats. You can do your rituals like Yule, and you'll do, you do Imbolc and Ustara, and you can do them all by that. You can do them all by the moons if you do moon rituals, and you can structure it by the wheel of the year, by the moon phases. Another type is you can construct your Book of Shadows by the types of rituals or spells that you're casting, whether it's stone or herbal or tarot or runes. You could do it like that if you wanted to do it like that. Another one is just monthly rituals, and then you can break them down into daily rituals. Monthly rituals can include your Sabbats and Sabbats, but they're just general things that you will do, rituals every month, and then the daily rituals you do, like meditating and things like that. Oops, sorry. My computer's going to sleep, and it makes a big noise when it does that. Sorry. Anyways, so there are really no wrong ways of constructing your Book of Shadows. It's just going to be what's comfortable to you, and no Book of Shadows is the same as the other. So everybody's is different, and you really want it to set it up like how it works for you. Kind of like when you go to somebody else's house and you're in their kitchen looking for a spoon, it's not always in the same place that you would put it. You put it where it's comfortable to you. So just kind of think about it like that. Alright, on to my Book of Shadows. Is this big old thing. Okay, I have in here, this is my old journal that I write my dreams in. Excuse me. So sorry. Okay, so I have a lot of stuff over here that's going to go in my Book of Shadows, kind of turn it into like a scrapbook. I have my Book of Shadows blessing in here. That's the first thing I have. And then I have very kind of traditional, what you'll find on the internet, what you could put in your Book of Shadows. Some people say you have to put it in your Book of Shadows. You don't have to put anything in your Book of Shadows. You put in what you want to put in there. It is your spiritual, ritual, spell casting recipe book, memoir, whatever it is you want to call it. It's all about you. So I have the 13 Goals of a Witch. I have, because the wolf and the owl are my totem animals, and the wolf is also one of my spirit guides, I have the wolf prayer and an owl prayer in here. 2014, one of my best friends and mentors passed away, and her sister sent me her, I don't know what you would call this, what they give out at funerals. It was a celebration and release that had a bunch of things in here, beautiful things, the music they played. There's a beautiful thing in here from Donna's husband, my friend's husband. It's just it's really cool. It's a picture there's a picture of her and then a self-portrait that she drew. And she also sent me her obituary, because she died in Mississippi and I was living up here, and I was going down to see her, but I missed seeing her. So I have this in my Book of Shadows because she was one of my mentors and like a spiritual mother to me. So the next thing I have is just some basic information. There's like a chant, a Celtic chant, a balanced chant. Then I have some information on my goddess and my god. Isis is my goddess, Thoth is my god. Casting a spell. The Witch's Rune, and sort of I guess it's like a poem or a chant, which I am. Principles of my beliefs, which is things that I practice regularly, whether it's being an environmentalist, being an animal activist, things like that. So then it goes on to, in 2011 I had a past life regression, and it was not what I expected. I was kind of really expecting it to be like not even relatable and cheesy. This was an incredible reading. So I have that in it. My friend took notes. She was there with me. So I have all that information down there. And then it goes into, I specifically have a ritual for the wolf moon in January. Basically because the wolf, I'm very connected to the wolf, as well as the owl. The wolf has always been my protector. The owl's always been my teacher. And I actually dedicated myself to Isis on the wolf moon. So there's my dedication. I wrote out a whole dedication to Isis, and I have that all in here. And then my Book Shadows from there for a while in here is all structured in the Sabbats. So there's Imbolc, Alstara, Beltane, Summer Solstice, Lammas, Mabon, Samhain, and Yule. So I have rituals in there for all of those, and they're rituals that I created myself. I have recipes in here for different things, offering stones, spell stars, solstice cakes, Esbot Sabbath cookies, 4-Thieves vinegar, Beltane wine. Then I just have general spells back here. It's spell information. And then my resources, which I have stuff on runes and the elements, Egyptian gods information, and so forth. So that's how my Book of Shadows is structured. Man. And the reason I love geez, I'm having a hard time. This thing is a beast. I love when people have those books, those beautiful binded books with the really beautiful paper in them, and for their Book of Shadows. And I really wish I could do that, but my path is always changing and my rituals are always changing. If something doesn't work in a ritual or a spell, I'll rewrite it with a tweak in what I think may have gone wrong or not worked as effectively. And I'll reprint everything out. So I have, it's constantly changing. I have a few things that are pretty concrete, that work pretty concrete for me, but it's not enough to put it in one of those books. So don't think that you have to get one of those books either. They're sometimes hundreds of dollars, and I know several people that have those, and they haven't even used them because they don't want to mess them up. And that's another thing. But I've also seen tons of people that do have them, and they do these beautiful, like some of them draw in them. Some of them almost make them like scrapbooks. I mean, they're just amazing. So you don't have to have one, but you can. So you can start something with a Book of Shadows as simple as a big 3-ring binder and get paper and these plastic inserts, and then I have everything's labeled in here because I'm an organized freak. And then you could do it that way. So it's really up to you on how you want to do it. I know when people are starting Book of Shadows, they always want to have those beautiful old looking books and the leather bound and everything, but my suggestion is to be practical. Know yourself, and like for me, those aren't practical because I know I'm going to change my rituals and my spells at half a dozen at least times before I feel like it is not changing. So be practical and know yourself and know what's going to work for you, but don't be afraid to try anything. I set my rituals up like my Book of Shadows. It's very organized, so yeah, that's how you can do it. There's lots of different ways, and there's lots of different information on the internet. Also, if you want to have like a pretty page, like for instance, this is the Book of Shadows Blessing. Has a beautiful picture up here. People do these on Etsy if you're not creative and don't know how to put all that stuff together. You could order that stuff on Etsy. You can go on Amazon, where I got my wolf prayer and my owl prayer. They're really not expensive, and you can pick them up that way if you're not overly creative and don't have a lot of time. So yeah, that's it. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and comment below, and I'll be happy to answer anything. And until next time, everybody have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon. Blessed be. Bye.